Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That's what I'm going to do from now on. I'm just going to sing our welcoming to everybody. And I don't know if that's going to bring more people in or chase people away. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, whatever you think of my singing abilities, welcome to everyone. It is Saturday, the 11th of June, and it is time for the weekly Virtual Pipe Club meeting. I'm joined by these fine people right here. Say good afternoon or whatever. Good morning.
Howdy, everybody.
All your fine people.
Everybody.
Really, really nice to see everybody. I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be smoking. I don't know if everybody got the message last week, but I came back. I came back with so much stuff from Chicago, including COVID. So I haven't been smoking for like 2 weeks, but today I am back to smoking, and also I'm moving, and the entire house is in boxes and in a truck right now, speeding its way up to Washington State, and so I have very limited smoking options left to me, but we'll talk about that coming up there. Hello from Israel on the live stream over there, because we are live streaming directly to Facebook and YouTube right now. And by the way, all of you who are watching over there on Facebook and YouTube, please let me know how the audio is. I'm trying to make sure that we get all of the good sound from the people who are in the Zoom room here today. And of course, our special guest is coming. Our special guest, let me see. There he is. There's Ryan. Yes.
There we go.
Awesome. So I'm not going to introduce him yet because, I'm going to make him wait in the green room. If this was a real TV show, we'd have like this green room where he could sit and we could have, the right color M&Ms for him and a bottle of bourbon, because that's important to our guest today. But we're going to get him to talk about that as well. Lots of fun stuff to catch up on. I want to go right into our weekly ritual, though. And Ryan, I'm actually going to start with you. I start with our special guest. And here's how it goes. We go around the club and just talk a little bit about what we're smoking, and if we're smoking a pipe, what kind of pipe are we smoking it in, and then we pass it along to the next person, and just say I pass the virtual pipe to so and so, and we'll just do it like that. So Ryan, first of all, welcome, and what are you smoking today, brother?
Thanks for having me, guys. Right now I have some Gone with Hogarth Bob's Chocolate Flake. It's a new favorite that I just can't seem to get enough of lately. And I'm smoking it in one of my own pipes that I made. It's a little sandblasted low lot. It's oxhorn inlay with an ebonite stem.
That's beautiful. Can you hold it up to the camera a little bit closer just so we can see it? Oh, man.
It's Canadian. It's a low wet, maybe.
Yeah.
Let me see. There we go.
That's not for you, DDR. It's too classy.
I know, really. I'm too much of a low end. I basically smoke used corn cobs. Just that's all I go. Yeah. How's the Bob Chocolate Flake for you, Ryan? What do you think of that?
Man, it's awesome. This is the first 10 I had, and actually I picked this up. We had a long layover in Chicago a couple months ago. And I stopped off at I-1 Rise, and I grabbed a pouch of Saint Bruno and this tin. And I just recently popped it after hearing everybody talk about how good it was, and I'm glad I did. This stuff is phenomenal.
I have been hearing lots of good stuff about it also, and I haven't gotten a tin of it yet. So every time I see somebody smoking some, I want to get another motivation to go out and grab a tin. So. Cool.
Yeah, you definitely should. It's great.
Can you actually taste the chocolate in there?
You know, it's not as chocolatey as I expected it to be, but it is nice and sweet. I wouldn't say it's anywhere near an aromatic.
Latakia.
Yeah, just it's got a little pinch of latakia in it, just enough to taste it, but it doesn't dominate the blend at all.
Very cool. Well, it's on my list. That's for darn sure. Okay, so now, are you on a laptop today, or are you on a?
Yeah, I'm on my laptop.
So you should be able to see other people with their hands raised. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see Dave Klein here. He's got a hand there.
All right, we'll just pass it along to Dave Klein.
All right, take it away, Dave.
Thank you. And welcome to the group, Ryan. Hopefully you can come back and join us in future meetings as well.
Thank you.
But anyway, today I'm smoking my church warden. It's a Chacom. And I got this one at the Chicago Pipe Show. And in it, I'm going to smoke the sample of the Hogshead, Seattle Pipe Club Hogshead. And then after I finish that pipe, I'm going to go to this rat raised pipe that I also got at the Chicago show.
Beautiful pipe.
And not a very expensive pipe, but I like it a lot. It smokes pretty well. It has a 9mm filter in it. And I'm not sure what I'm going to smoke in that. I might be this Iwan Rice Flake, which is also, I believe, produced by Stokeby. I think it's the same as Stokeby Navy Flake. But it's another Virginia, and I like that a lot. So anyway, good to see everybody, and I will pass the virtual pipe over to our buddy Janos Kokinos.
Hi everybody. I just finished a bowl of Sutcliffe Red Virginia that I like a lot, and I passed the pipe to my friend Dave from Canada.
Wait, before you pass it over to Dave there, I wanted to ask you, so for those people who didn't know, Janos recently had started a raffle for a set of these beautiful pipes, an incredible set. How's that going?
Okay, it's 7 pipes. It's slide poker, make 7 artists around the world. And so many people like it in Chicago, but you understand it's very expensive. And we decided to put in a raffle. It's 100 tickets of 20 euros each. That means $23. And we sold already 91 tickets. That means 10 remain the spots. I will send the link now in the comments, in the chat. And if one interest, can buy any. Thank you, David, to mention that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful set, and we have a picture of that on the Facebook group, don't we?
And Instagram.
And Instagram
I will
also.
send the picture now in chat and the link for craft your ticket if you want.
And then when are you planning on doing the drawing?
When we sold all the ticket, I think the next days, because just 10 remaining tickets. I hope this weekend gonna be sold approximately Wednesday, something like that.
Awesome. So, just another shameless plug. 10 tickets left. If you you should go to the Facebook page and on Instagram and take a look at this 7 pokers. So it's a 7-day set. Everyone's slightly different. Beautiful, beautiful pipes. It's $20.
And the set made the stand made by Neil Yard in New York from Exotic Goods. Also is very nice. I will send in chat now picture and the link. Thank you, Didier.
Awesome. All right, so who are we? Oh, Dave in
Dave
Canada.
from Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, just one sec. My radio just turned on. Sorry, guys. I don't know what the heck happened there. Thanks, Yano. It's good to see everybody, especially our brother Ryan, member of a different club I'm in also. But well, since he's here, we're going to start the day off with a nice Lavazzo he made me, a nice flame grain.
Woo!
It's really, really beautiful. I love this pipe. And it's basically, I just told him, have at her. And I was looking forward to one of his awesome blasted pipes, but he just, when he saw the grain coming out of this one, when he was shaping it, he said he couldn't dare blast it. And I'm glad he didn't. I got it going, so I don't want to turn it over, but around the bottom of the bowl, it's got some wicked bird's eye on it, and then really nice flame grain through the shank, and some interesting patterns on the bowl. So anyway, that's what I'm starting with, and I'm smoking Watch City cigars. I got 558 flake, which I've just got it 2 days ago, but I'm really enjoying it. It's a vapor. 3 types of Virginia in it, one of them being a stove Virginia, which gives it a really interesting smoking characteristic as compared to like my favorite Old Dominion, which I know Ryan thinks is top dog, so he's kind of one that got me hooked on Watch City cigars stuff, and I'm really
actually had that out right here.
Oh, nice, yeah. So after that, I'm going to, speaking of, we have all our famous, wonderful artisans with us today. I'm going to fill up this awesome bamboo poker that Janos made for me. And I really love this pipe too. It's my Saturday pipe. You guys have seen it plenty of times. But so, yeah. And I'll switch to Old Dominion for my second bowl because vapors are where it's at for me. So good to see everybody, and I'll pass the pipe on to Perry.
Thanks, Dave. Hope you guys can hear me. There's a sound of a air conditioning compressor in the background.
Oh, you're coming through 5x5, brother. It's good.
Okay, great. So today I'm smoking some of Ken Byron's Plateau Bling, I'm sorry, and one of his lat forward blends in a Castello old antiquary bent billiard. So somebody get that.
That's gorgeous there.
Yeah.
Is that
That's a nice pipe.
Is the stem white or translucent there? I can't quite
Not
tell.
light, it's a little on the heavy side. It's a big pipe, but I enjoy it, just kind of relaxed with. And with that, I'll turn it over to Miguel.
Thank you, Barry. I appreciate it. I started my day with Tom Elton rusticated curry, and in it it's McBarron HH Pure Virginia Pipe, and then after that I will smoke a Dunhill 4109 Royer Canadian, and then I will smoke that Seattle Pipe Club Hogshead. Thank you, and I will pass the virtual Pipe Club to Tim.
Thank you, Miguel. That Tom Eltang cuddy at our Pipe Club, we had an evening where if you bring a cuddy, you get a chance to win a prize. And I had a chance, one of my guys who was sitting at my table had that exact same pipe, and I got to see it close up firsthand. That is just a masterpiece. That is such a classic Tom Eltang shape. Awesome. Anyway, today I'm smoking this Peterson Deluxe 11S, and in it I'm smoking Drucker & Sons Inns of Court, which is kind of a Virginia and Burley with a little bit of Perique and Latakia. To me, it sort of reminds me of just one of these, more older classic blends that you'd buy, but the quality is just kind of pumped up a little bit on it. It's just a really good blend. And it's blended by Greg Peace for Drucker & Sons. And after that, I believe I'm going to go on to this Il Ceppo, which this is one of those pipes that just really does well. it smokes so well. It's got a really nice sandblast, and it's a nice beefy bowl. And in it, I'm going to be moving maybe to Loch Ness or maybe to early morning pipe. But I wanted to show you guys something. I'm watching this bid on eBay. And I don't know if can you see that? Okay, this is a Peterson Irish Free State. It's being sold by Mark Irwin, who wrote the Peterson pipe book. And right now, it's a beautiful pipe. It's a straight grain, really classic shape. And right now it's up at the 459. Now I'm not bidding on it. I'm bidding on something later. So, but you know what? I think about this, and I think about way back in the day when Barry Levin had his pipe store in Vermont, and he would send out mailers to everybody every 2 months. You get this all these photographs of all these beautiful pipes, and he always carried tons of Petersons, and he had some patents and some pre-republics, and I wasn't into Peterson back then like I am now, and gee, if I only had the foresight to look ahead 45 years and say, someone's going to write the Peterson pipe book, and these things are going to go way up in price. Too bad. Well, my loss. Anyway, that's my story for today, and I'm going to turn it over to someone who hasn't been with us for a few weeks, but we're very happy to have him back. David Martinez, take it away.
Thank you very much, team. Wonderful Il Cepo. Too many English blends for you today.
Yeah, a lot.
For the summer.
It is, a little hot.
We're doing okay here, about 78, 82, but Tuesday and Wednesday it's going to be over 100 degrees, so I'll be in my main cave all day long. And welcome back. My name is David Martinez. I've been smoking for a year or two. I'm a newbie to this.
David, what is Perique? Have you heard of that?
It's a spicy vinegary thing that hurts you here and makes you cry, I think. I've been only smoking aromatics so far. I don't know anything about tobaccos much.
Lots of molto dolce, right? Is that what you got there?
No.
Or lane 1Q, that's what you got.
Bourbon cherry.
Yeah.
Only Spaniards can do that then.
Yeah. Well, we are not privileged like in Canada where you have amazing tobacco.
So you've got cheap Capstan there,
Capstan was my first tobacco I ever smoked.
Very cheap tobacco in Spain, I heard.
$7 only.
Yeah. And in Canada,
actually, the last couple of months they've been increasing in taxes so much. Like Samuel Gawith used to be $9. Now it's about 15 right away because of the Brexit. So everything has been increasing a lot. Rattray, same thing. But sorry, I've been missing a lot the last couple of, I'm going to say almost 2 months, but about mid-April, I got sick, no COVID, no nothing. And again, my throat was like, I don't know if I got streptococcus or something, but I quit smoking for about almost a month. And I didn't want to join you guys and not being able to smoke. That would be sad for me. So then I changed jobs in between, and then my mom came the last 3 weeks. And we've been splitting the whole house and lightings, new bathroom upstairs, floorings, and such and such. So I didn't have any minute of peace until she left last Sunday. So I apologize for not showing up. Again, I didn't go to the other club. So I'm happy to be with you guys again. And just long story short, I'm smoking like a little Freeberg, Group 2, tiny. I'm smoking like Peter Henrich, Dark Flake, which I haven't smoked in years, but I love it because it used to be super sweet when I bought the 200 grams tin, and now it's fantastic. It's sweet, but not too sweet. And then the other one I'm going to smoke after this, because this is about to end. I was smoking it when I was with my pipe club this morning here. I got a new HC Comoy Jordan Slam, and it's an apple one.
Nice.
Teeny, tiny one. That's my new to the collection. And I already have something a friend of mine gave me as a present. I don't know if you guys ever smoked.
Oh, wow.
Look at how old it is. So,
wow, man. Whoa.
Edgewood, it used to be more like a burley, and maybe a touch of Virginia, and it's a slice. If you see the whole tin or the big jars, 20 ounces. Yeah, probably. I don't know how many ounces.
or dearly
That
departed?
one used to be ready wrap, while this one is sliced, and I've been enjoying it lately. A lot of dark fire tobaccos. I'm all into the meaty tobaccos of dark fire. So that's pretty much it. So glad to be here again.
You've opened the Edgeworth.
Yep. Yeah, we opened it last Thursday.
Great.
He knew how much I like this tobacco and collecting tin, so he just gave me maybe like, I don't know, 1/3 of the whole tin and said you can keep it. So
David, have you
pleased for
seen?
this. And actually, speaking of devil like tin, this morning I took about all my collection of like Periques that I have and many other blends from Mark Ryan and Doris and Ryan, and we've been setting some dark fire with Perique that I made, dark fire with cigar, which I gave it to a friend I didn't care for. Mark gave it to me, but I don't care about cigars. And then the other one, it was like a Perique with Caturini, and that was like a spicy red apple. That was kind of the smell and taste. And they've been loving it, so I've been giving them tons of tobaccos. I have Bashma open, Caturini, Ishmir, Macedonian, Larakia, all the Virginias, my beloved like Belmont, Perique. So they've been grabbing as much as they want to make their own blends.
David, I was going to ask you, have you tried the new Uno?
Yes, actually, Jim, which you met the other day, he told me only good words about you. He only met you once. He allowed me to try it, and it smells like good and vinegary, but I don't understand why it was like some Larakia on it. It was, from what you smell to what you smoke and taste, it was completely different. Yes, he gave me a bowl to try. And the same, and this morning, another friend of mine gave me the same one that Miguel is about to smoke later, that Seattle pipe. I didn't care for. It was $43 for like 4 ounces of like normal, 10-year-old Virginia, but it was not better than other blends, except in the end, it was like a little bit spicy, and I kind of like it. But I think these Seattle Pipe Club people, they overprice their products too much, and they make the same blend of ready wrap and then slice and then double slice and triple press, and they keep increasing the prices. That's my opinion about Seattle Pipe Club.
Well, we're trying to keep the economy going in Seattle. That's.
Which vendor did you see the $43?
Jim and another friend they bought it in Chicago. So
it's actually $33.09.
But then you have to pay the taxes depending on shipping and such and such. It ended up being 43, but the sticker on top of the tin, it says 43, and it's like, I don't know.
Well, welcome back, brother. It's good to see you.
Thank you, guys. Sorry, I needed to talk too much. Enough of me. I should say this pipe, this tobacco, and leave. So let's go with Dimitri now.
Hello, guys. I'm starting my day with a Quesada Oktoberfest 10th anniversary cigar and some of this Berliner Geschichte Pilsner. Excellent combination. And then I'll switch to this latest addition to my Nat Sherman collection.
Wow.
French made from 1990s. I think it was smoked maybe like 1 or 2 times, so it's practically a brand new pipe. I haven't smoked it yet, just got it about a week ago, but I didn't have a chance to smoke it yet.
Dimitri, can you bring the pipe back to the center of your screen? Little bit to your left. Little bit to your left. And then say hello.
That's nice.
Yeah, and I will smoke some early morning pipe in it. And let me pass the pipe to Marek.
Hey, can you hear me now? Can you?
Yes, Marek, we can hear you.
Okay. Then I'm starting my evening with Castello Ciroc, very small pipe, very light white. I don't know if you can, and a very nice sort of grain. I don't know, it's sandblasted, deeply sandblasted, or maybe it's rusticated. I don't know how they do it really, but it's a very nice small pipe. And smoking in it, probably the best Virginia ever, Bright CR Flake from Garrett Hogarth. Very nice tobacco. And we'll be following with my favorite vapor Escudo in a still brand new pipe. It's a rat race distillery edition with a sort of copper ring. I don't know if you can see the ring. It's my background playing up. Sorry for that. Very nice pipe. It's natural finish, no wax, nothing whatsoever. Slightly sandblasted, but not too deep really. And hopefully I'll be enjoying it thoroughly. And passing the pipe to Chris, please.
Hey everybody, back myself after a little while, a few weeks off here. My daughter graduating from college and moving her home and then moving her across the country to her new job. So it's been a little kind of crazy year. Kind of somewhere in there, I did get the new club pipe. So I did a club pipe with the yellow stem. So first time I'm getting a chance to smoke that today. It's some Parsons blend. But so yeah, it's definitely not a clencher, but love the way it feels. Great feel in the hand. Kind of hold it, doesn't get warm. So liking it so far.
Did you get one of the original runs of the pipe, or did you get the?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Got the name at the bottom. Yep. They were able to fit it.
Awesome.
All last night, so it was great. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Kind of when I got home from one of the trips, moving the daughter, it was kind of like, oh, hey, package, this is great. So I've been waiting on it. So nice surprise.
Now you can say that you literally have a pipe that has your name on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see. Who's left? Kent. I'll pass the pipe to you.
Thank you, Chris. Good to see everyone, wherever you are, whenever you are. I am smoking today since that wonderful display of that tin. I've got some Match Edgeworth Ready Rub in this pipe. It's a WDC Wellington from somewhere in the early years of 1900s. And when that goes out, I will switch over to my Viggo Nielsen freehand. Wonderful straight grain, over 75% of it. And I'll have some amphora, a full aroma, not the red package, but the match of it. Maybe it's been a long time. It has been like 40 years since I had the amphora. This one, the match matches my memory better than the present red pouch. So, but I've got some of that too. So I will pass it along to Randall. Have you gone?
No, sir, I have not. I'm glad to. Hello, everybody. Missed you last week. Apologize for that. And to run see my son is about 2 hours away. And it was a good time. Today, one of my favorites right here. This is a raffle pipe, one from the virtual pipe club with back when Oliver was involved. He was pretty instrumental in it. It's a big Chacam from France, Chacam king size, 12.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
1202. Yeah, you handled it with white gloves on, David. It was really cool.
That's a big pipe there.
Yeah, that's my kind of pipe. It sure is. It's got a really nice, well, I guess you'd call it flame grain to it. I call it straight grain, but then that's me. It just smokes great. It's a big one. It's very comfortable. It's ultra smooth. It's got a matte finish on it, and it's just great. And in it, I have some of the new to me Watch City Cigars Simply Orange. Wonderful, wonderful Virginia blend. Very hard to get. Yeah, I understand it's ribbon cut. It's not a flake. and he stores it or has it stored in barrels, metal barrels, in 115-degree space for like 6 weeks, and then he releases it, and boy, it's smooth. I like his Rougarou. That's very good also. But this is simply better. And it's called Simply Orange. And it doesn't taste like orange, not even a hint. That name is from the color of the leaf that it changes to. So anyway, that's what's happened afterwards. I've got some of this neat stuff. Not tried this one. Coronado Oriental from Wilkie. Let's see, can we get it up here?
Yeah, there you go.
Not had it yet. Has a little latakia in the background. You can smell it. Very excited to try it. So, with that, who's left? I don't know.
We got Glenn over there.
Hey,
Sean.
Glenn. Sure, of course.
I want to
Glenn.
jump in and wish you a happy belated birthday, Randall. It's nice to see you back.
Thank you, Dave. I got your message on Facebook, and I appreciate it. It's very kind. Thank you a lot.
Good to see you again.
Thank you, man. And Glenn, how are you?
Hi, Randall. Fine. How are you?
Good, good.
Today I'm smoking one of my old favorites. This is a Chris Will 2-knuckle bamboo rusticated skater. So it's got a lot of nomenclature on it. I don't know how old it is, but I think these haven't been made in quite a few years. And today I'm smoking Greg P's Charing Cross Balkan, which is fabulous. So I think the only one left is DDR, so pass it on to you.
We got a couple of other gentlemen hadn't put their hands up. I just want to make sure that maybe they would like to share also. So I see Tom's there, Tom Baranecki. What are you smoking there, brother?
Hi, hello, good morning. I'm smoking Samuel David Big Ben Flake. It's absolutely fantastic Virginia Oriental mix. I like it very much. I'm smoking in Stanwell 11, absolutely classic.
Nice.
I love it. I have few, not very much, but few Stanwells. Well, it's my favorite shape, absolutely beautiful. Classic is always beautiful for me. Thank you very much. It's nice to see you again. It's my second time when I'm talking to you. Maybe next one would be Miguel.
I think Miguel's gone already, haven't you?
Okay,
And then, but here's Jim. Jim.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is my first time joining you guys. I was actually heading out to the workshop, but I saw the notification on Facebook this was happening. Ryan is kind of my mentor. He kind of adopted me about a year ago when he saw the horrible pipes I was putting out, and it kind of took me under his wing. So I had to come here and support him here. I'm actually smoking a barrel briar right now that he made for me about a week ago. This thing, I don't think the camera can even do it justice. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. And I've got some of my Desert Island blend, H.H. Bold, Kentucky. Good to see you all.
Beautiful. And batting cleanup, we got Sean.
Thank you, DDR. Right now, I've got some Newminster 400 in a moonshine pipe. Sorry, right now I had to swap over to my phone because my iPad told me since I put it in the sunlight, it was overheating. And just before that, I was smoking a Briarworks with some warped espresso in it.
Nice. So a couple things. First of all, I want to welcome all the guys who are new first timers or like Tom just a couple of times here. It's always great to meet new people and to hang out with you. So I'm really appreciative of seeing you again. If you are new to being in the Zoom room, we do this just about every week where we have a little way of connecting with each other and finding out what they're smoking. I do it purely selfishly because I learn about all these new tobaccos. So I love hearing what everybody's smoking, like Bob's Chocolate Flake. Now I'm just jonesing for some, so I've heard about it so many times. If you do come in, all you have to do is look down at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and there is a quote-unquote reactions button. And in there is a raise hand function. So you can just raise your electronic hand, and that's how everybody knows that you're there, and we'll pass the virtual pipe club to you, a virtual pipe to you. Okay, so what I'm smoking today. So I'm smoking a cigar. I was saying that today is moving day for us. We've been living in two houses while my oldest daughter was finishing up her last year of high school and has graduated. Yesterday was her last day of school, and on Tuesday she's going to walk down the aisle. And so as of today, now the whole family is going to be up in Washington with us, and so I'm down to like hardly anything to smoke, but I do have my last Cuban Partagas that I picked up in Costa Rica when I was down there last year, and so that's what I'm smoking today. And it's good, and I can taste it. It's fantastic. Well, what I want to do next... Oh, by the way, I do want to say a great, big, huge welcome to everybody who's watching us over there on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget that you are just as much a part of the club and the meeting and everything. So in a bit here, when I open it up to some questions for our special guest, please know that you can just drop your questions into the chat, and I will pass along to him. So just don't forget that.
And by the way, can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is just general for anybody who can answer, but I just received in the mail today my Palmetto blend, the limited release from C&D. I haven't opened it, but has anyone tried it? You can describe it?
Apparently not, but I did pick up some. I haven't cracked it open yet. I'm going to wait till I get home. But when I was in Chicago, I picked up a tin of that.
Which one, you said? I didn't hear.
The Palmetto is a brand new C&D blend.
It's one of the small batch. Yeah, it's a small batch release, but it comes with a big tin, I think, 8 ounces.
Yeah, it's a bulk.
Super. All right. Well, it is my great pleasure to introduce you guys to a new guest, somebody that we haven't had on the show before, but he comes highly recommended, and I need to have him talk a little bit more because I'm trying to pick up an accent in his voice there, because my assistant who reached out to him and got him on the phone and got us arranged today wrote me and said he's got the best accent ever, and I don't know what she meant by that, so I'm going to try to see what that's all about. Anyway, I'm very happy to bring in Ryan McCawley, the genius behind Smoke and Barrel Pipes. And Ryan, it's very nice to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I have watched a couple of these, so I was kind of familiar on how it goes down, and I really do like what you guys do here. Kind of going around and introducing yourself and talking about what you're smoking on and all that kind of stuff. I think this is a really cool thing that you guys do.
Awesome. Well, let's start off with something easy. Tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you grew up, where you're from, and then we'll get to the pipe stuff here in a minute. You've got a lot of stuff going on. Are you a dog breeder, or you run a dog club?
So I did breed dogs for a long time when I was still competing, but now I actually work for the registry. I work part-time for ABKC as a confirmation judge. So if you've ever seen a dog show, I'm the guy that is going over the dogs in the ring there. So yeah, I don't breed as much as I used to. Actually, I haven't done a litter in a few years now, but I still judge from time to time.
And the B is for bulldogs?
It's American Bully Kennel Club, and they actually register 21 different breeds, but it's mostly bull breeds, bull terriers, French bulldogs, English bulldogs, that kind of thing.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I have 5 American Bullies.
Are they in the shop with you?
I'm in the house, so I wanted to go out in the shop and finish up on a pipe that I was working on yesterday, but I actually got stung by a wasp yesterday, and my left hand is literally twice the size as the right hand. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. So no pipe making for me today. So I'm in the house. I got 2 of the boys are sleeping on the couch over there, and the rest of them are downstairs.
So where are you from originally, Ryan?
Born and raised in Texas. I was born in Arlington. I grew up in Mansfield, and I didn't travel too far from home. That's where I still live. I tell people Fort Worth just because it's easy to find on a map.
And how long then have you been carving pipes? Well, let's go back even further than that. Let's just go back to how long you've been smoking pipes.
So it all started. My fascination with pipe smoking started when I was a little kid, and I would go spend summers with my grandma, and her neighbor, Mr. George, he smoked a pipe for as long as I can remember. And every time I was outside, I could always tell when he was outside because that smell would just waft over the fence. And I just remember it being the greatest thing I've ever smelled. And when I turned 18, I went to the Parks Mall. There was a shop there in the Parks Mall called Tobacco Lane. And I went in and I bought a little basket pipe and a bag of something sweet smelling. I had no idea what I was doing. And I took it home. I didn't dry it out at all, and I probably smoked it way too fast. And I just remember it ate my tongue up. And I said, I'll never do this again. I don't know how he did that for so long. And I just stuck it away in a closet and forgot about it. And I tried to revisit it a couple times after that. And I just said, man, I don't know if this is for me or not. And I guess it was, probably a few years ago, I came across it. I found it. And I said, I'm going to give this one more go. And I went to a local brick and mortar tobacconist here. I call him Big John, tall, skinny guy named John. I said, hey, man, just, put me together something like three of your top sellers, and I'll go home and try it. And it just stuck after that. And so after getting into the hobby, I said, well, I want to buy some more pipes. And so I started going on eBay and other sites, and I started buying estate pipes. And I think that's how I became comfortable working with briar and staining and finishes and polishing and all that kind of stuff. Was I would buy all these estate pipes, and I would watch YouTube videos, and I would clean them up and restore them. And some of them had pits, and so I would drill out the factory filling and refill it and stain it. And so I got really comfortable working with the briar that way. And then one day it just clicked. I said, I think I could probably make these. And so I just started buying pieces of equipment and sticking it out in the shop, and eventually started collecting everything I needed to do. And then started buying briar and started turning stems, and the rest is history.
Now, had you been a woodworker or something like that before?
No. I had done small projects like there's a post in Virtual Pipe Club of my cellar that I had posted like a couple years ago, and I had built all that stuff in there. But that's just your basic woodworking stuff. I wouldn't consider myself any kind of carpenter or anything like that. And I had never even attempted to make a pipe until I started. I bought all the equipment and then said, well, let me see if I can figure this out, instead of, calling somebody up and going to their shop and, kind of experimenting with it. I just threw the money at it and said, this is what I want to do.
Wow, that's commitment right there.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have like a teacher or a mentor that you work with?
When I first got started, there were a few guys who did help me out, and I think their help is the reason why I help I help out new carvers, and I don't consider myself an expert or anything like that. I do it because it's what I enjoy, and if there's something that I know that someone needs to know or someone wants to know, I'm willing to share. I'm willing to give my advice, because the people that helped me out when I was first getting started did the same for me. Those guys, I don't know, you guys probably are familiar with them. One of them is Jonathan Lavazzo. He actually started moonshine, and I think he sold moonshine to Briarworks in Tennessee, and now he does prohibition pipes. But he still has a fly fishing company called Moonshine Rods, and they do all kinds of really high-end fly fishing stuff, and he does briar seats and all that. So he's still incorporating pieces of the pipe into the fly stuff. Another one is Paul Lucas over in England. Paul is a great guy. Y'all should definitely check out his stuff. He makes incredible pipes. Paul helped me out a lot when I was first getting started.
Awesome. So, do you have? So we've had several guests on the show, other carvers who have like a special technique or a special way of looking at it. For example, Silver Gray. She always talks about using the golden mean and measuring out all the dimensions of that. And everybody's got their own something. Do you have a special approach to carving?
I don't know if you would call it a special approach. Sometimes I have a sketchbook, and sometimes I'll sketch pipes out that just come to my head, or something that I'll see and I want to put a tweak on it. And whatever those sketches are, whenever I order my briar, I come in and I examine each piece of the briar. And if I find a block that I think that shape can fit in, I'll sketch it out on the block, write what it is, and then I'll put it away. And it's only up until recently, I've been so friggin' booked out with commissions. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and make the pipes that I want to make. And, and I'm always happy to make whatever someone wants. Because I know that pipe is going to mean so much to them versus, something that I want to make and they like it and so they buy it. But I don't know if there's any kind of specific special method or anything like that. I just try to visualize what pipe is going to fit in what block the best, and I'll look at grain orientation and all that kind of stuff inside that block and try to figure out, what kind of grain do I want running through what part of the pipe, and then I'll just cut it down and just start turning it.
We got we got a bunch of people watching us over on Facebook and YouTube. New Age pipe smokers. I'm not quite sure who it is. Some individual says, Ryan is the man. Excellent carver and awesome human. So that's good.
Well, I don't know who said that, but I appreciate that.
I second that.
That's fantastic. Let me open it up to any questions from the group right now. We'll do this a couple of times because as we touch on different subjects, I think people will have some different questions for you. But fellas, if you've got a question for Ryan, just hop on and tell him, ask your question.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, Dave?
Yeah, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us here. I just wondered, do you have a couple of different kind of signature shapes you got to show the guys or whatever, like your bull moose or something like that? I think the guys would be really interested to see some of your things, and I've been shamelessly plugging your pipes here for a little while now, ever since I got this one in the mail, but just wondered if you had a few pipes to show off for the guys to have a look at, or are they all in the mail?
The ones that I finished up this week have all been mailed off. I do have a couple that I do have sitting here. Let me dig them out here. As far as signature shapes, I don't know if I would call them my signature shapes. They're pipes that I don't see a whole lot of people doing, and I like to do those pipes because I feel like it does allow me to express my artistic style within that shape. One of those is an Eskimo, And I don't see a whole lot of people making this style of pipe anymore. And I don't know. I think they're cool. I would say if I did have a style that I do enjoy to make, it's like a flat, wide design. You know, something like what you were saying, the bull moose or a bull cap or an Eskimo.
Yeah, that's what I meant, the bull cap.
Sorry. I feel like I'm more drawn to you know, like the Rhodesian style bowls, the Bulldog style bowls, but I also really enjoy the classics, like the pipe that you're smoking on, or you know, the pipe that I was smoking on. Just something that's real clean and classic with crisp lines. I think it's opposite ends of the spectrum, but I don't know. I really enjoy it. But no, this is one that I finished up this week, and I had time to work on it in between commissions. And there's a guy on Instagram, Grizzly Bay. He does wet shave brushes, and he does his own resin pours. And we were talking one day, and I asked him how wide he could make me a block to turn down for a stem, because the Eskimo that I was picturing in my head, I wanted it really wide at the shank and then tapering in towards the button. But nobody around had any material that was, 2 inches wide like I wanted it. And so I asked him if he would make me something, and he did, and he sent it to me, and I turned it down, and this is what I did with it. I don't know if y'all can see this.
Oh yeah, I've been drooling over that pipe since you posted it.
So
I don't know if my old lady will let me. I'll probably get divorced.
Beautiful.
It's got some red, it's got some gray, some black, some white, and then it's got a few little pieces of 24 karat gold flake in it. But
yeah, I just about pulled the trigger on that one when you posted it, but I think my wife would be having me living in the back alley if I did right now.
No worries, man. I'm in no rush to sell anything. Like I said, I had a little bit of time to work on something outside of a commission, and that's what I came up with. So this is one that I have right now, and then I did a little Dublin. Little sandblasted natural stain Dublin. It's got a little purple shimmer stem. It's got a little multicolored band. Nothing too crazy. Just something simple, something lightweight. Perfect for somebody who's a clincher. But like I said, two opposite ends of the spectrum: an old school, original, classic pipe shape, and then something that's totally different, way out there. So I don't know if I really have a certain style to peg down. I like making them. I like making pipes.
You can make a 1792 bottle model, since it seems to be your favorite.
Oh yeah, I do have a few of those back there. I don't know. I'd probably say that bottled and bond is probably my favorite 1792. But I have all the makers. I got all the benchmarks back there. I'm a huge Wild Turkey fan. There's a bunch of Wild Turkey stuff back in there.
I live in Louisville, Kentucky.
Hang on, too many people talking.
Yeah. Hold on. Dimitri, go ahead there.
Yeah, very impressive looking liquor cabinet back there.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I guess you mostly bourbon drinker?
Yep, bourbon. There's back here, there's some tequila, get a wild hair every now and then, maybe some vodka for when people come over, you want to mix a drink or something. But for the majority, yeah, it's all bourbon.
If you come by here, I live in Louisville, Kentucky. I can always give you tours about a couple of places like Maker's Market or in the Lawrence area. They have a couple of places where within 5-10 miles, you can visit at least 6 or 7 distilleries.
Oh man, that's awesome. We were actually planning on coming out there eventually, maybe sometime this year or early part of next year. So I'll definitely take you up on that.
Yeah, let me know and I can tell you places to go.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I appreciate that.
We are going to have a chance to look at some photos of Ryan's pipes a little bit later and maybe get him to comment on them a little bit. But I was going to say that very definitely those Eskimos are just beautiful. I love that, your take on the Eskimo. I have a couple in my collection, but I think I'm going to have to get one of yours because yours are really fantastic.
Thank you. It just The only thing with this is if I can source more of this material, just because it's super wide and not a lot of people make material that's this wide. This actually, I started to turn this down from a 2-inch by 2-inch block. And so usually, the max you can find is somebody that'll do something like 1 inch by 1 inch. So I might have to start doing my own resin pours if I want to do something this wide, but we'll see. I just thought I have the material on hand. Why not make the best out of it?
So Ryan, I have a few questions. First, have you ever tried Old Forester? And second, do you do this for a living?
Yeah, I actually have an Old Forester 1920 back here, which I think is their 1897. That's their bottled and bond, so it's their 100 proof. Old Forester is great. The 1910 is awesome. The 1920 is good. I really like the Old Forester lines. And your second question, so I do a lot of stuff. I'm a very busy man. I do commercial signs and lighting. Like I said, I judge for ABKC, so I'm doing dog shows and I make the pipes. So when I'm not doing either one of those, you can find me out in the shop.
What I like, thank you. What I like about the Old Forester, I'm pretty much a Scotch guy, but I do like old fashions. And what I like about Old Forester, it's a very good bourbon, and it's incredibly inexpensive. It's like $25 a bottle for their basic bottle. You know, the 46% proof. It's just a great. Someone in my pipe club told me about that, and it's just such a great bourbon.
Oh yeah, if we're talking price points, I would say probably Wild Turkey 101 is probably the best bang for the buck out there. I want to say it's like a $19 bottle, and it's up there with the best of them.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting how some bourbons become like really sought after and expensive. Like the Pappy Van Winkles are like outrageously priced, and I think Blanton's. I have a bottle of Blanton's that I bought years ago for, I don't know, $59, and now that's like hard to get and expensive. It's just interesting how things work in that hobby.
There's two of them sitting right there.
Yeah, they're probably worse.
If you want something very good and very inexpensive, Old Granddad 114.
Bingo. There it is right there. Old Granddad 114 and Old Granddad Bonded are both very good pours, and they're very inexpensive.
Yeah, and like 114 114 proof, when you don't drink it, you don't feel it. It's just so well balanced, so smooth. It's incredible.
Yeah, you would never expect something that's 114 proof to be that smooth.
Got a couple of questions that have come in from the guys who are watching us over there on the live stream. First of all, our good friend Alvin from Austin is not in the group today because he's on granddad duty watching the kids. But he said just because there's another Texan, he's got to watch. So he's watching you today. He says, "Hey."
Well, hey, Alvin.
Stratman wants to know if you have a favorite pipe shape for yourself, and other than Old Dominion, what do you smoke in it?
Oh man, that's tough. I have all kinds of stuff. If I had to pin it down, I'd probably say a billiard, just because everything smokes well in a billiard. I feel like there are certain pipe shapes that some blends smoke better in certain pipe shapes, but I feel like everything burns well in a billiard. No matter what style of tobacco you're smoking, I think we can all agree. I mean, a billiard is just the best all-around shape. But as far as blends go, I think I have close to 300 blends open right now, and they're always rotating. I mean, I might smoke 5, 6, 7 bowls of this Bob's Chocolate Flake, jar it, forget about it for a few months, move on to something else until I find it again and go, oh yeah, I remember, I love this stuff. So I don't know a certain favorite. And the world of Virginias is kind of new to me. I've always been a big burley guy. I've always liked the English blends, and I could never understand what it was about Virginias. And I think I was trying to look too far into them instead of just appreciating the simplicity of them. And so for 6 weeks, that's all I did. I smoked nothing but Virginia blends, anything I could get my hands on. And it was only after forcing myself to do that where I really learned how to appreciate a Virginia. And so now, especially in the warmer months, I don't know. There's nothing better than a good Virginia. I mean, it's like a glass of sweet tea. You just can't beat it.
There you go.
Yeah. Try to find some McClellan Virginias, especially the Virginia flakes. That will change your opinion about Virginia.
I have some 5100, the red Virginia. I have some 5115.
5100 is amazing, yeah. And they use same red Virginia in many of their blends.
Yeah, so I do have a few McClellan Virginias, and I do appreciate them, and I really do enjoy them. If I had to pick, I'd probably say there's like my daily Virginia, something that I really and it's cheap, it's affordable. I mean, it's your 114. It's New Minster 400. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's a straight Virginia. It has kind of this like honey graham cracker, really light topping. It's a game changer. I want to say it's like $30 a pound, and so for the price, you can't beat it, and it smokes well.
It's your fault that I have 1.5 pounds of that stuff now.
I don't remember who it was. It was either Michael Rizzo or Daniel Seaman that turned me on to that 400, and that was the Virginia that kind of changed my mind on Virginias. I was like, this is amazing, and so it was that one. But I can't remember which one of those guys it was. But yeah.
Yeah, it's just like there was a little fire and someone poured gasoline on it with that New Minster 400 in the Naps group, and I think we just about cleaned them out at smoking pipes. So I was thinking that the admin group of the Naps must have been getting some kickbacks or something. But,
man,
after that, we put New Minster into the top 5. I think Virginia sold on the planet. So
I wish we were getting kickbacks because we would have been sitting fat and happy if we were. Because like you said, man, it went from not even being on a list to being in the top 5 bulk tobaccos on smoking pipes.
New Minster 400 is my favorite also, but I think it's significantly better after 2 years in a jar. It's absolutely sweet and creamy.
I have some from 2012. I have about 8 ounces from 2012. Okay. And so it's got 10 years on it. And the only thing I notice is like it gets deeper and richer, and a lot of that honey graham cracker topping kind of disappears. So whatever I'm in the mood for, I got a little bit of everything.
Flour and honey, absolutely, really good Virginia. Really,
it's beautiful.
Ryan, I wanted to ask you, go back to your commission. So if I got this right, that most of your time is spent making commissions, and not a whole lot of time to just make other pipes for yourself. So I'd love to know a little bit more about how you got into doing commissions, and if you ever have, like I noticed you don't have a website, but you do have an Instagram. So do you have pipes that people could just go on and order from you?
Because the majority of my stuff is done on a commission basis, I really don't have many pipes in stock to just list and to sell. Like I said, I just finished those 2 up this week, and that's the only reason I have these 2 that are available. Because most of my time is spent doing stuff for other people. And as far as getting into commissions, I don't really remember how it started. Some of the first guys to support it were there was a guy out of Kentucky, James Stumbo. He was I think he was the first one that ever bought a pipe from me. And then some of the guys in the Naps group, they were the first ones to support me. The other guys, and it's funny, we kind of founded that group because at one point or another we had all been removed from other pipe groups, so we kind of felt like we were the rejects anyway, so we just kind of banded together and started our own thing. And funny enough, there used to be an admin for virtual pipe clubs. His name was Oliver, and I got kicked out of Virtual Pipe Club one time for posting a pipe of mine, and I wasn't even trying to sell it. I was just posting it up because I was proud of myself. You know, I was like, hey, check this out. I just made this. And then it got removed, and then I got kicked out of the group because they thought I was trying to sell something when I was just trying to post a picture of a pipe. And but anyways, we got all that figured out. I don't even know if he's an admin anymore. I don't think he is. I think he left to do something else.
Oliver's got another group that he's running right now. It's a basically just a, well, I don't want to say just, but I was talking to him in Chicago, actually, and he was describing, it is essentially an open meeting, like a salon, we used to call it, where you just kind of sit around and he'll keep the thing running for hours, and people can just kind of come in and out and talk about all kinds of stuff. So yeah, he's off doing his own thing there.
That's cool.
So how many commissions do you think that you run in a month?
Ooh, it just depends on my work schedule and if I'm traveling for the dog stuff or not. I mean, there's a lot of variables that go into that. It usually takes me a couple days, 2-3 days to finish up on a pipe. And so it all depends. I mean, I might put out 2 or 3, or I might put out 10. I don't know. It varies.
Is there a particular shape that seems to be more than any other that you get orders for?
It kind of changes. For a while there, the ants was a big thing. Devil ants. That was huge. For a while there, it felt like every freaking pipe was just double ants. And then it switched up. People were wanting billiards, and then people were wanting stacks, and then people were wanting Lavazzo, and it all kind of changes. I don't think I necessarily get one that's requested more than the others. Maybe an apple. I think a lot of people like an apple, and I do a pretty nice apple.
Did all your stacks go to Mike Rizzo?
Yeah, pretty much. He's got one. I think he calls it the brow burner.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I had a super tall block, and I just imported some ebonite in from Indonesia, and it had this crazy swirl pattern on it. And he goes, "Hey, can you use some of that stuff to make me a really tall pipe?" And I had this really tall block, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I have something that's perfect for you." And so I just went with that.
He loves those. Dave, I see you got your hand up. Did you have another question for Ryan?
I think he's got his thing muted there.
Yeah, I'm there. I just had a bunch of buttons that I couldn't figure out what I was doing. Yeah, that brown burner, is that stem what he calls the snake skin stem?
No, so there's a guy that I've been following since he started. His name's Anton. He's over in Indonesia. And he makes his own ebonite, which I think is really cool. And it's crazy the way that he does it, and the different components that he puts into it, and the end result just blows my mind every time. And so I had been communicating with him since he first started doing it, and I told him, hey, look, eventually when you get ready to sell this stuff, like, put me on your list because I want some of this. And now it's all over the world, but I'm pretty sure the first ones that he sold went to me. And so I was the first one in the world that actually used his stuff. But since then, I mean, it's everywhere. It's all over Europe. It's in Australia. It's all over the States. And it's really awesome stuff to work with. And he does just innovative patterns that I've never seen in ebonite. Usually, when you see ebonite, you got like a Cumberland, or you got a single swirl, or you got one single color, or, just your basic black, which, is still one of my favorites to this day just because it's so classic. But his stuff has all kinds of crazy colors and crazy swirls. So if I can get my hands on some more of that, I would definitely use it again.
Yeah. One thing I got to say about you're really adventurous with your stem material, and it really adds to the uniqueness of your creations, and I think that's awesome. But the main reason I had my hand up as we were talking about New Minster is if you want to switch it up a little bit from the graham cracker taste, and you want to taste what's it called, cinnamon toast crunch cereal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I take 2 parts of New Minster 400 and 1 part of Old Dominion, and I mix them up, and then I jar them and put them in the sun on my kitchen table for about 3 or 4 days. get it all nice and mixed up. I might even blitz it a little bit in my coffee grinder, and then put it out and let it cook in the sun for a day or two, or in the window, and then it changes from that graham cracker and gives you a little bit of cinnamon toast crunch, because you get a little bit of that kick from the Perique. So if you're ever feeling like you want to mess around a little bit with your blends, try that out and let me know what you think.
Oh yeah, man, I'm definitely down for that.
This is exactly why I love this club. This is exactly what the kind of thing that I would never have thought about that. So, Dave, thanks, man.
Speaking of that 400 and mixing it up, there's a guy in Naps, Cole Flowers, and he just sent me his blend, and so he did. I don't remember the exact mixture, but he did Stove 400, and he did some Perique. So he did his own Virginia Perique, but he did it with that 400, and it's actually really good stuff. And then I'm working on something with a buddy of mine, a local guy here, Billy Reed, and we're doing something, we call it Crack Minster, and I kind of got the idea from Daniel Seaman, because he was the first one that did it. You take half 400 and half New Minster 702, which is a Burley, and so you just do like a Virginia Burley, and then we topped it with Kraken rum, and I stoved 2 ounces of it, and then just put another 2 ounces to the side, and we pressed both of them. And so we're letting them sit now, and we're going to slice them up and try them and see what the difference is in the two.
Oh, that sounds wicked, man.
You're going to have to come back on the show and tell us how it came out.
Oh, yeah, I'm down for that.
Tim, I see you got your hand up, man.
Ryan, can you talk a little bit about your tooling? Are you using a wood lathe or a metal lathe? What are some of the stuff you have in your shop?
Yeah, I do everything by hand on a wood lathe. I don't have a metal lathe. That's why people are like, "Hey, can you do metal this and metal that?" And I don't really do any metal on my pipes, just because I don't have a metal lathe. I mean, I can add a cap, or maybe like a simple band here and there, but as far as turning metal, that's why I don't do a lot of metal accents or make metal tamps or anything like that. So everything is done just with high speed chisels and a wood lathe. I do everything by hand. As far as other tools, I mean, it's just your basic pipe shop, a bandsaw, bench grinders, French wheel, sandblasting cabinet, all that kind of stuff.
How hard was it to get into the sandblasting part of it?
I had to do a lot of homework. It wasn't really that hard once I started doing it, but I had to do a lot of homework because I had a compressor out in the shop, and it just wasn't putting out enough air to really move the media into the briar and expose the grain like I wanted it to. And so I went out and I bought the biggest one I could find. That thing is taller than I am, and that pumps up enough air to go through that cabinet and blast into the briar. So once I did that, and I want to say, I think it was Jonathan. Jonathan was the one who told me which media to buy, and after that, I mean, I just put everything together. I'm more of a do-it-yourself kind of guy anyway, and so I like to mess around and piddle around and figure things out on my own. And so getting into the sandblasting, that wasn't too tough. It just was a lot of research to figure out, what tools I need to buy in order to do it.
I thought I saw somebody else who had their hand up there and then went away there. Was there somebody else who had a question for Ryan? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I didn't have a hand or a question for him, but going back for a second for the topic, he said, I'm a big fan of honey blends. And unfortunately, you have to smoke it no more than 1-2 years because the honey tends to disappear. I've noticed that's the first time with the EU, for example, which has Virginia, Caturini, and honey. The Interlude or the Manhattan Afternoon, same thing, like Red Virginia, Hello Virginia with honey. If you tend to age those ones, the honey tends to go away. So those are the kind of ones that you have to smoke with no more than 1-2 years.
It's the same with Sun Bear. I think it was a 2019 Sun Bear that I had. The honey was already starting to disappear. I mean, you get the sweetness from the Virginia, but that honey topping is already starting to disappear. So I agree with you.
Randall, I see you got your hand up there, brother.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Ryan what his favorite tobacco was, and I just wanted to tell you, Dave, that this is the first time I've been on, and I'm really enjoying it.
Well, Randy, it's very nice to meet you, sir.
Well, thank you, sir.
Welcome.
You know, if I had to sum it up, if I had to smoke one type of tobacco for the rest of my life, I'd probably say Burley. I've always been a big Burley guy. I mean, it's good any time of day. You know, it's always there for you. And there are a ton of different Burleys out there. So it's not like you're going to get bored with it.
Do you ever smoke any aromatics?
Yeah, I do. I still smoke aromatics, and I know they get a lot of hate. But you know what? If you like it, this is pipe smoking. It's not that serious. At the end of the day, enjoy what you want to smoke, you know?
Right. That's what I smoke, is a lot of aromatics. So I just wanted to question you with that.
And you know, and I still smoke a lot of aromatics. When we go out, you know, I usually take a pipe with me, and when I do smoke aromatics, I'll do like a half and half mixture. I'll take half that aromatic and half of a straight Burley, and I'll mix it up. That way, I get to smoke what I want, and everybody else around me enjoys it too because it smells amazing.
Well, thank you, sir.
Very cool. Randall Arnett. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, Ryan. Since we got off on that little tangent about Burley, I just want to make a comment, and then I have a question for you. For me, Burley is just outstanding in a corn cob. I just love it.
I could smoke Burley in anything.
Perfect. All right, then a technical note. Do you have why don't you discuss the size of the draft hole and the shank and into the stem and that, and does that matter at all?
I feel like it does. You really have to plan out your pipes, and I think that's, and not to talk down on any factory pipes or anything that you guys enjoy. This is just something that I've noticed from making them is a lot of the draft holes in factory pipes don't necessarily line up correctly, and that causes all kinds of internal problems. You got gurgling, you know, you have different issues. Another thing that I noticed is a lot of factory pipes, the stem isn't fluted, and I don't know if you can see
at the end by the button there.
Yeah, at the end by the button, where it comes up and it comes out. That to me is a huge difference between factory pipes and artisan pipes. So the drilling has everything to do with it. If a pipe is drilled correctly, you'll never have an issue with it. You know, even if you're smoking something that might be on the wetter side, like what Randy was saying, like if you're smoking an aromatic, you know, they tend to burn a little more damp than, say, an English blend or a Burley or something like that. But if the pipe is drilled correctly, you won't have an issue with it. But as far as sizes goes, that just depends on whatever size pipe you're going to make. You know, so I have all kinds of spade bits that I've made in all different sizes. And so if I'm going to make a little pipe, I'll drill it with a small bit, you know, something like an 11/16. So if I'm going to do, you know, maybe like a group 2, group 3 size bowl, I would do something like a 3/4 bit. Or if I'm going to go bigger, maybe like a 7/8. And so it just depends. But for the draft hole, the majority of the pipes I do them with a 9/64. So it's nice. It's wide open. Your draw is unrestricted. You know, you can pack your bowl a little bit tighter, get a little more tobacco in there, and you're not going to have an issue with airflow.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I want to. Well, I have one question that came in from the guys who are watching over there on the live stream, and then I wanted to take a look at some pictures, some photos of some of your work, and see if maybe you could just chat about them for us a little bit. The question that came in was, do you make tampers that match your pipes?
Yeah, that's an option that I offer. That way, when I'm turning the stem for that pipe, you know, I can cut off a little section and go ahead and epoxy it on or whatever, and make a custom tamp to match that pipe. So when someone does have a pipe commission, that's always something that I offer. Is you know, hey, look, while I have this material out, do you want to have a matching tamp? And you don't have to do it, obviously, but if, you know, you just wanted something extra to go with your pipe, then yeah, that is an option that I do offer.
Cool. He also is asking about where we can see your work and maybe make a commission, but I'm going to hold on to that thought because we're going to get to it at the end, and I want to give the links to all of your Instagram and your Facebook page and whatnot. So Piper said was the guy who asked, and just hold on to that thought, brother, and I'll come back to it. All right. I'm going to try this. This is an experiment. Let's see if this works. Let's start here. Can you guys all see that?
Yes.
So this is one of those beautiful Eskimos.
That's this one.
Wow.
Just beautiful. So tell us a little bit about what went into making this.
Like I was saying before, sometimes I'll sit down and I'll sketch out pipes, and that was just something that came to mind. And I couldn't ever find material that was that wide to be able to pull this off. And I've done a couple other Eskimos, but they had longer shanks because I had to, just the way it works, sorry, my big Hulk swollen hand here. Just the way it works, I would have to pull the shank down just a little more so that I was able to face it for that material to go on. But I wanted something that was a really short shank pipe. But the problem with having something that's so short like that is it's very wide. So I couldn't ever source material that was wide enough to do a super short shank like this. And that's until I ran into a guy on Instagram that did shave brushes, and I asked him if he had anything that was that wide. Because I know there's some guys that do they make bottle stoppers that might have resin that wide, or the shave brushes. And it just so happened that he did have one that was that wide. It was a 2 inch by 2 inch block that I had turned this down from. I mean, it barely fit in the jaws of my lathe. It was that wide. So that was the biggest obstacle to overcome with this pipe was just sourcing the material, because the briar, I mean, I can make the briar, I can turn it, I can make it into whatever shape that I want. But finding something that was that wide to be able to taper down and make that stem with, that was the biggest obstacle with this pipe.
This is really gorgeous. I wanted to take a little closer look at that stem material there. Do I have one more? No. Okay, let me go back real quick here. It's just the contrast between the stain, the black stain, and all of those. It's just really rich. It just pops right out at you.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted a darker pipe, and I try, as a general rule of thumb, I try not to do more than 3 colors on a pipe, because I feel like once you get more than 3, it just becomes way too busy and way too distracting. And so the shank the stem already had enough color in it, so I just wanted to do a dark pipe. And then while I was turning it, I thought, how cool would this look if I were to do a smooth rim and make a smooth red rim to match the red on the stem.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I decided to do with it.
That one of those might have to wind up in my collection, I'm just saying.
Hey, if I can source some more of this material, you got it.
Here's another one, a little bit more classic shape.
That's actually the one that I've been smoking today.
It's beautiful.
That's just a sandblast. That's okay. So there's a guy on here right now. I don't know if he's still on here. Let me scroll over. Jim Gillespie. Yeah, he's still on here. That's actually the pipe that Jim is smoking right now. It's a little bent Rhodesian. It's got a Juma ferrule on it. It's got a nice sandblast finish, buckskin color, and then it's that multicolored stem. And that stem is wild. It's got all kinds of stuff on there. Yeah, it's got some teal, some pink, purple, some gold through there. I got that and said, oh, I got to do something with this. That's a gorgeous stem.
Like you said, that you could run the risk of it being so busy, that it would be distracting. But this really, really works. Like that's just.
And so I think the reason why that works is the gold and the tan that's in the stem. I wanted that to kind of go with the pipe. So that's why I went with the lighter, like a buckskin color on the pipe, because I feel like that color on the stummel, like on the pipe, complements the color that's in the stem. So it doesn't make it too busy.
Yeah. Great.
I smoke this thing way too much. At least once a day, this pipe is between my teeth. It's a fantastic pipe.
Hey,
and
Jim,
when I hit up Ryan about it, I've been talking about getting a pipe from Ryan for almost a year now, and just one thing after another that's coming up, and it's pushed itself up the front. But I finally got around to it, and all I told Ryan was, I want this to be 100% you. And when you look at it, you say, Jim used this pipe. That's all I told him. Everything else is 100% him.
So while we've got you talking about it, tell us a little bit about the feel of the pipe. Like, what's the weight like, and what's the mouth feel like?
Oh, it's super comfortable. It's almost eclectic. For me, it's a little bit heavy up front, but in the pipe itself, I think it's about 40 grams. It's super light, super comfortable, and just fits in your hand. That's why I pick it up all the time. It smokes fantastic.
Sweet.
Almost as good as mine.
And I actually have one of Jim's first pipes that he made, a Stumbleworks original. He had made this really short, stubby, real tall billiard, and it was really wide. And I think when he had first started shaping it, it came to a point almost at the heel of the bowl. And I said, dude, that thing reminds me of a tugboat. I go, you ought to call that thing tugboat. And then a few days later, I look and it shows up in the mail. I was like, dude, you have to send me that thing. But yeah, Jim is another awesome pipe maker. If you guys are looking for another artisan, Jim makes great pipes.
Absolutely. You can't get away now, man. All right, let's take a look here. Oh, here, a beautiful poker.
So that one, Tom Elting does a basic poker, and that was kind of my take on it. I wanted something that was super lightweight, that was easy to take around with you, that you wouldn't even notice was there. And I had a small piece of briar, and that was just kind of one of those things that I didn't know if it was going to work out. I had got a rod. It was a linear carbon fiber rod from a buddy of mine who does a lot of knife making. He uses it in his handles. And it had been sitting in my shop for a long time, and I could never figure out what I wanted to do with it. And so I said, I'm going to try to make one of those Elting basics with that linear carbon fiber rod just to take a little bit of weight off. Because my original thought was to do it with stainless steel, but I said, that might add weight to it. So I'm trying to decrease the weight. And so that shank that's through there, that's linear carbon fiber, it's a briar bowl, and then that stem I turned down from Alumilite. So it's a very lightweight. Tyler has that one now. What is Tyler's last name? Edwards? Tyler Edwards? Does that sound familiar?
He's from Texas?
Yeah, Tyler Edwards. That's his last name. Yeah, he's from up in Amarillo.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he was at the Chicago show, and he brought that pipe with him. He has 3 of my pipes.
Yeah, Tyler and I hung out a little bit while we were up there.
Real nice guy.
Lovely guy. He used to be used to come to the meetings all the time, but he's usually driving. In fact, he might be driving right now. Drives truck, right? And then he said his boss busted him because they have cameras in the cab now, and so he said he can't come to the meetings anymore.
Oh no!
So, but we want him to be safe when he's driving anyway. But what is the stain color that is on here? Is this looks like a bit of a contrast you've got going on there?
Yeah. So to achieve that, I had sandblasted that, and then I laid down a layer of black. And actually a few layers of black. And so what that's going to do is soak down into the soft spots of that briar, and then I'll blast it back off. And so whatever stain has seeped down into the soft spots of the briar, that's going to stay black. And then I just went over the top with, it's either, I don't remember if I did dark red or ox blood over the top of that to give that black and red contrast.
Beautiful. I think this is the last one I have pictures of, but here's another take on the Eskimo.
So that shape is a bull moose, and the difference between those are probably some of the more requested ones that I get because I don't see a whole lot of artisans making that shape. And a bull cap is that shape with a straight shank, and a bull moose is that flat round top like that with a bent shank. That's the only two differences between those shapes. But Yeah, that's called a bull cap. I named that one Danny DeVito because it's short and wide. But I did the same thing. You know, the contrast stain on the top of it. And hang on, what's going on here? Oh. Yeah, so that's a bull cap that I made for another one of the Naps guys, Mike Howell, super good guy. And if you know Mike, you know he's one of a kind, man. He's his own thing. And so I felt if I was gonna make a pipe for Mike, I had to make a Mike pipe. I mean, it had to be a one of a kind pipe that nobody else had. And I know, you know, his favorite colors are pink and purple, so I had to incorporate that into a pipe. And so that's one of those real loud and off the wall pipes that I do every now and then. And like I said, you know, sometimes I'll go from something real clean and classic to something like that, wild and out there. So to try to ask if I had a certain style of pipe, I can't nail it down.
That one didn't have such an amazing grain that you have to sandblast it or rusticate it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I try not to offer smooth pipes because you don't ever know what's inside of a block of briar until you get in there. I mean, I've bought some really nice, expensive blocks of briar, and you start turning them, and they're riddled with sand pits and everything else, and so you wind up chunking them, and they wouldn't be a smooth candidate. I mean, it wouldn't be a candidate for a smooth pipe anyway. So I always try to say, you know, we can sandblast it, we can rusticate it, or if I get into the block and I discover like this thing is perfect, there's no blemishes, the grain is beautiful, just like I did with Dave's pipe. Dave still has it. I don't know if he still has it out. Dave asked me to sandblast the pipe for him, and I picked that block because on the outside it had some really cool growth rings in it, which I think are the best pipes to sandblast because, you know, you'll get some flame grain running through it, but then you also, when you blast it, you expose all the growth rings that are going through it. And the deeper I got into that block, the more flame started coming out and the more the growth rings started to disappear. And so I know he's not a huge fan of smooth pipes, but the flame grain that was in that, I said, dude, it would be criminal to rusticate this or to sandblast it. Like, I have to show this off. And so I decided to keep that one smooth.
Sometimes it just really works out like that. I have a fairly good selection of pipes from Chris Kelly, and most of the ones that I get from him are blasted or rusticated because he does a lot of by hand with the Dremel. But
most of my rustications are all done that way too.
They always come out so much, you know, more unique that way. I think that when
it gives the briar so much. It gives the briar so much character. I mean, you know, there's an old school thought of rusticating, and I know I was just talking to Jim the other night about one that he was doing, and it just tears your hands up. You're just sitting there grinding on this thing for hours and hours and hours. Yeah, that's it right there. He's smoking it right there, and it looks amazing, but it just tears your hands up, and you just for 2 days your hands are sore afterwards. And so I thought to myself, you know, there's got to be a better way. And so I started doing mechanical rustication. And that way I can do different types of rustication. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look through my Instagram, you'll see 2 or 3 different styles of rustication that I'll do. And sometimes I'll even combine the two. I'll rusticate it and then I'll blast over it, you know. And so it gives the briar so much character. And it's so much different. There's another guy, I would probably call him like the king of rustications. And I don't know him personally, but I've always respected his stuff, is Brian Orton from Orton Pipes.
Yep.
That guy does I can't even fathom how he does half of his stuff. It's insane. So if you want to see good rustication, I suggest checking out his stuff.
Awesome. By the way, we do have somebody who's a bit concerned about your bee sting. So he said, and you probably have already done this already, he says, take some Benadryl tonight and drink lots of water.
Yeah, I've been working on the water all day.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it counts if it's cut with bourbon, but you know, at least it take the pain away.
We did so there's a bourbon put out by Buffalo Trace that's not as well known. It's called Benchmark, and I've been trying to collect all the benchmarks. Which there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of them, and I've been trying to get them all before we did a tasting night, and that's what we did last night was a tasting night with all the benchmarks and I don't know if it helped the beast thing, but it definitely made me forget about
it. maybe you're supposed to soak it in it. I don't know.
I slept right through it.
Well, Ryan, couple of questions. First of all, let me do my normal thing here. So we've got plenty of time left. I don't want anybody to slip out here or think that we're about to close, but we are about 20 minutes away from the end of today's meeting. And I always say this so that in case the wife slips in the room and says, "How much longer are you going to be?" You'll be able to tell them.
I told her to go get her nails done. So she's at the salon.
Don't you have your wife in Washington this weekend?
Who, me?
Yes.
No, she's here. So, yeah, I'm down in California right now. So we're all here, and then in a couple of days we're all taking off. The truck left about 10 minutes ago, and so we're sleeping on the floor for the next couple of days.
It's good for your back.
It's good for your back. So anyway, we are getting close to the end of today's meeting, but for those of you who might be new or only been able to see us a couple of times, we do this every week. We've been so fortunate to have great guests like Ryan to come in and teach us about all kinds of things about pipe carving, blending, the business of pipe making and whatnot. So please come and join us every week. You can come right into the Zoom room here. If you come and check out some of the pipe groups on Facebook, that's the only place that we post the link, because when we post it on YouTube, we get weird guests who come in. We get Zoom bombed. But soon, because a lot of people don't want to go on Facebook, and I totally respect that, but soon we will be having the ability to view the live stream on our website. We have a brand new website, thevirtualpipeclub.com. There's nothing on there right now. There's just like you can sign up and be on the newsletter list. But soon we'll have some other cool stuff on there, and you'll be able to come and watch the live stream there. Other guests are going to come up, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the other people we've got lined up very soon at the end of the show. So that's another reason for you to stick around. Don't go anywhere. Ryan, I'm curious. So, I'm sure that we don't delve into everything into the mind of every different artisan. What questions haven't we asked you that would be something that you'd want to share about your process?
I'm not sure. I think we've touched on a whole lot. You know, how I got started, if I have a specific style, what size pipes I do, what size drilling. I mean, I think we touched on just about everything.
Do you have any aspirations for sort of future designs or something that you've sort of had in your mind that you're working on that you haven't made yet? What's the future like?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't try to look that far ahead. I just try to get out there and do my thing. I try to put out the best pipes that I can, and it's coming to me now. There's another guy that I forgot to mention, and I don't know how I forgot to mention him. I talk to him all the time. Sean Ream. Sean Ream helped me a lot, starting out and doing some stuff. So anyways, I had to shout out Sean. But I don't know. I just, like I said, I'll get in the shop and I'll sit down and I'll start sketching things out. And I know I have some sketches that I don't know if I'll ever be able to do them. And I've always been a big fan of the Danish style stuff. But I know a lot of those are freehand drills, and I don't have a metal lathe, where I can turn the speed down and do a freehand drill right now. But I think eventually what I would like to move into is that style, and so I mean they do all kinds of stuff. But I would say like some artisans that I really look up to in that style would Alexander Hasty. I don't know if you guys are familiar with his work. or J. Allen, something like that, where they do that freehand Danish style. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous, and so I think eventually I would like to transition into that style, maybe.
Do you have any? I have too many buttons to push over here. Do you have any like the ones the carvers that you've mentioned, like Jeff and the rest that you collect?
My collection, I don't really have as many pipes that I think as a lot of you guys. I don't know, I'm probably sitting around 30 of them right now, maybe 40, and I think 10 of them are shop pipes, you know? So as far as artisan pipes, I don't have a whole lot. I mean, I have, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 artisan pipes, and I think eventually I would like to get into collecting the really higher end stuff, but as for right now, I don't have any of those two artists.
Gotcha.
Do you have any shape that you don't like to make, like on poles, for instance?
Yeah, so that's perfect. I because I do everything on a wood lathe. I don't do pawls or anything like that. I don't like to do more than maybe like a quarter bit or a half bit, just because I do everything on a wood lathe, and it's really hard to drill a super bent pipe on a lathe like that.
No, but even if you have your whole materials and tools, is there any shape that you never care for, you never liked when you started? Or like for me, I cannot stand on poles, and that's what I mentioned that example. And yeah. I don't like bulldogs much. I like to see them, but I don't feel comfortable to my hand because of the diamond here when you put your finger.
The diamond.
Those are the two that I never care of buying, you know. So you perhaps say, "Oh, I don't like such a shape."
I'm not a huge fan of a lot of paneled stuff because I think it looks out of place. You know, when I think of a pipe, I'm thinking that it should be curvy. It should be comfortable in the hand. You know, it should be round to fit in your palm and, you know, and in between your fingers. And when I see paneled stuff, I'm not a huge fan of the paneled stuff. I don't like pawls. I just think, and I know that they're very popular. It doesn't look like a comfortable pipe to me, and it just looks like it would collect too much moisture down on the bottom of it. Like I said, I've never tried to make one, and I've never owned one, so I could be completely off. Just looking at it, those are the thoughts that come to mind.
You know, it's very interesting. I never liked the look of a paneled pipe either. But our first club pipe was Chris Morgan Bones. That was a paneled.
Bones. I had one.
You have one, and I love it. You know, it completely feels different than I would have imagined it was going to.
So before I smoked that pipe, I felt it, and I wasn't a fan, and so I sold mine to Gene. You know Gene? Let's see, what's Gene's last name? Bodeker?
Oh yeah.
Boker? Yeah, Gene Boker. I got that pipe. I remember it. I think it's still up in VPC when I got it. And when I got it, I just looked at it and the shape and the size and everything, but it was good, but it just didn't feel right in my hand. And so I posted it up, and I think I sold mine to Gene.
Super. Dave Harnack, got another question for you there.
Hey, yeah, thanks, DDR. Yeah, I'm sorry if you're kind of coming across as a fanboy here, but I just, you know, with regards to, with Ryan's drilling and whatever and how he makes whatever, like I have the good fortune of we have our Thursday hangout in the Naps group and kind of got to know each other a little bit. And like I'm sure when you commission a pipe, he puts a lot of consideration into what your preferences are, and he specifically told me that the way he made this pipe was going to be, like in our chats back and forth, this is going to be a perfect pipe to smoke your favorite vapors in, and he's absolutely correct. So, you know, if anybody's interested in talking to Ryan about it, he's really good and considerate about what your preferences are and stuff like that. So, you know, I just kind of give him a shout out and being a fanboy. So hit them up, guys.
While on that subject, before I go on to David Johnson, what do your pipes run, Ryan?
It just depends on what you want to do, really. So, if you want something real simple, it's going to be on the lower end. If you want something super intricate, it's going to be on the higher end of the range. So it just depends, and every pipe is different. So if you do want to have something made, I would just say reach out and we'll talk about it. We'll go over design and all that kind of stuff and figure out what you want to do, and we'll just price it from there.
Awesome. David Johnson, yes, sir.
Hey, I've been following you on my on my phone because Zoom has been giving me fits. But do you make your own? Do you make your own stems?
Yes, sir. I turn all my own stems from rod stock. I really think I don't remember who I was talking to earlier about the stems, but I feel like the stems are a very crucial part of an artisan pipe. I mean, I feel like a stem is what sets it apart from a factory pipe. So you definitely have to put a lot of attention into your stems if you're going to have a nice pipe. And the majority of factory pipes, they're out there to turn out as many pipes as possible in a short amount of time because that's their business. They want to get them out there to sell. And for me, I would rather have something that's very well made, something that someone's going to appreciate for a long time. So I try to put a lot of work into my stems.
You shape a stem, you drill it, now you got to bend it. How do you bend it without the draft hole kinking?
You just run a pipe cleaner through into the chamber, so that way it's all through there, and then you just hit it with a heat gun, bend it to whatever specifications you need it to, and then once it's bent and everything, hit it with some I spray mine with cold water, and it sets right where you're at. So that way your pipe cleaner is all the way through there, and when you bend it, it's there. So once it cools off, you just remove your pipe cleaner, and your airway is still clean all the way through.
Hey, thanks.
You bet. Jim, I see you got your hand up there.
Yeah. Well, as a fellow pipe carver, I'm just kind of curious because I know that lemon that you got there is like when you posted that up the other day.
Oops. Jim, that was my fault. Yeah, that was my bad. Yeah.
So, how often do you actually get to make a pipe deliberately for yourself? I mean, like if you're like me, your desk and everything is like littered with shop pipes. But how often do you actually get to make one that you intended to be yours?
This is the second one I've ever made for myself to keep. Like I said, I'm always booked up with with commissions or doing something for somebody else or work or whatever, and so I never have time to sit down and really make something for me. And I think because I have been getting deeper and deeper into Virginias, I wanted a Virginia pipe, something that had a taller, narrower chamber, and something was a little longer, to kind of let that smoke cool. And that's exactly what I set out to do with this one, is just make myself a Virginia pipe. And so that's what I did. So that's the second one I've ever made for myself.
Real quick, I just wanted to pass along this. Somebody over on Facebook was saying that he has one of your custom pipes, and your work is second to none. And at the moment, it's the most comfortable pipe he owns. A terrific clincher and a super light. And then he's getting all kinds of thumbs up and applause. So,
oh man, that's awesome. I appreciate that.
See, Dave, I can't see. Dave, you're not the only fanboy out there for Ryan.
I just want to say the button and his stem work is flawless, internal and external, and it's one of my favorite pipes to hold in my mouth. Like I smoke it every day almost when I drive to work. I'm kind of cruel to it because I don't rest it very much, just because I love it so much. But it holds up daily. But the stem is luxurious. So whoever said that is absolutely correct. It's one of the most comfortable clenching pipes I own.
Sweet. Randall?
I think he's muted.
Got you on mute.
Unmuted.
There he goes.
Just curious again, Ryan. Do you do much with filtered pipes?
I've made a few filtered pipes. I've done I think 3 or 4 9mm pipes, but it's just something I don't get a whole lot of requests for. But I can absolutely make one.
Sure. Okay, cool. All right, thanks, man.
No worries.
Well, we're heading down towards the last few minutes of the show today, and I do want to make a couple of quick announcements. But before I go, I'm really sorry about your hand, man. I'm sorry that happened.
Look, you see the difference?
Like, I think it's grown since the show's been on. I think.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, but I'll get over it.
Well, just selfishly, one of the things that we'd love to do is take a shop tour with you one of these days. So my first question is, would you come back and be our guest again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Love to have you back on, and we'd love to maybe do a tour of the shop, and you could show us some of the works in progress and just talk to us a little bit about your whole workflow and whatnot. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I could definitely do that.
Super. Well, I'm going to draw us to a close here by giving you guys a heads up on some of the other guests we've got coming very soon. Although we're still adjusting something, so my assistant lined up, somebody that we've been trying to get on for a long time, and that is a shop tour of Missouri Meerschaum. So we talked to Shannon at the Chicago show, and she's all like this, and then my assistant lined it up like that. And unfortunately, they schedule it for a time when I'm going to be out of the country. I don't know if I've told you guys this or not. My wife and I have been together for 17 years, and we're going on a honeymoon finally in July. So I'll be gone for a couple of weeks, and that was when she scheduled Shannon in the virtual tour of Missouri Meerschaum. So we're going to reschedule that. The date's coming. Be patient. We'll let you know. Last week we were supposed to have Jeremy Reeves on to talk a little bit about some of the new stuff that he's doing over there at C&D, and then he got sick. Good news, it was not COVID. So he must have just come down with some hay fever or something like that. He said he's feeling much better. So hopefully he might even be on with us next week if we can bring him on. So that's just a couple of the others that we've got coming soon. And after today, with all these recommendations that Ryan's put out there, we're going to probably have a whole bunch of new carvers that we can introduce to the world. Last thing, can you tell us all the places we can find you and where guys can go and connect with you if they want to commission a pipe from you?
Yeah, for sure. I think you mentioned earlier, I don't have a website or anything like that. Most of my stuff gets posted either to our Facebook group, which is New Age Pipe Smokers. We just call it NAPS for short. And actually, we do a meeting similar to this on Thursday nights at 7. It's called The Mantle. We just get in and just talk just like this. It's super laid back. We can talk about whatever. This is obviously a little more organized than the 7 a.m. shenanigans, 7 p.m. shenanigans that we get into. But Naps on Facebook, I post a lot of stuff, and then my Instagram, it's Smoke and Barrel Briars, all one word. I don't post a whole lot of stuff on Facebook just because I stay busy enough from Instagram. I feel like if I were to start posting my stuff to Facebook, I would just bury myself and I wouldn't be able to get out. So if you do want to see some more, just look up Smoke and Barrel Briars, no spaces, all one word, on Instagram, or join New Age Pipe Smokers, and you can check out all the commissions that I've done in there too.
Awesome. And I just want to say I pulled a bunch of those photos that we were showing earlier today from Ryan's Instagram account. He's got so many more. You just do yourself a favor and go visit him and see some of the other work that he's got, and get an inspiration, and then hit him up and see what you can work out. I'm serious, Brian. I really do want to talk to you about an Eskimo, because I just love that look there. So we're gonna have to talk about that.
Okay.
If you don't know, if you haven't heard me talk about it, I favor not the classics, the opposite of the classics.
Right.
I collect all the weird, out there, unusual, and not that the Eskimo is that weird, but the way you interpret it, gorgeous.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. Well, my friends, Once again, a whole Saturday afternoon that's come and gone. And I just want to say thank you for everybody who shows up week after week and supports us and has fun with us. And for the last 2 years, I've been saying this at the end of every meeting, and it's taken on new meaning for me because, for 2 years I was very careful and, was able to avoid coming down with COVID. And then, a couple of weeks ago I did. And I've been vaxxed and boosted and everything else like that. So I just want to say even the most careful among us is still susceptible. So please take care of yourselves. We don't have a position on whether you should get shots or not shots or whatever, but whatever it is that you do to take care of yourself and be safe, I just want you to do that because we love you and we want you to come back again.
Now you have to change it. Please wash your hands. Don't go to Chicago, etc.
That's right. Wash your hands. Lock yourself in the basement. Whatever you need to do, and we'll see you next week. Anyway, that's our show for today.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.
Thanks for having me on, guys. This was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Great job, Ryan.
Be well, everybody.
Everybody.
See you in a week.
Sweet smokes. Sweet
See you next
smokes.
week. Thank you, Ryan.